I wish for Princess Jasmine to fall desperately in love with me.
There are evil villains. There are power-hungry villains. And then there are the ones who make you go, "Sir, please control yourself." And that's Jafar, the Grand Vizier of unhinged thirst. One so unapologetically corny that regular evildoers look like they lack ambition. He's a man who saw an entire kingdom, an all-powerful genie, and a princess, and thought, why not all three? He doesn't just crave power. He wants Agrabah, the throne, Jasmine's free will, and, for some reason, a snake staff that makes people obey him. And I'm not talking about the snake staff he wants Jasmine to obey. So grab your cursed artifacts and practice your most ominous lean-in, because today we're not just analyzing Jafar, we're breaking down exactly how to craft a villain dripping with power, manipulation, and deeply unsettling romantic ambition.
Now, pussycat, tell me more about myself.
Not every villain can pull this off. They need the perfect setting first. And Aladdin? Aladdin is really just a story about a broke dude and a rich dude with a parrot fighting over a princess, but only one of them has a magic sugar daddy. The classic two horn dogs fighting over a girl scenario. So how do you make this horn dog of a villain? You start by realizing the term corny villain isn't just about wanting someone. Nope, it's about an entire aura. A thirsty villain isn't just out here looking for a date. They are scheming, manipulating, and monologuing their way into both power and someone's arms. Their love language isn't words of affirmation, it's coercion and dark magic.
Perhaps you'd like to see how snake-like I can be.
But what makes him so effective as a villain isn't just the thirst, it's the power trip. A truly corny villain doesn't just want someone, they want control over them. They don't just daydream about romance, they orchestrate elaborate, world-altering plots just to put their crush in a morally compromised position, where they have no choice but to fall for them, or else.
My lord, desperate measure.
Jafar isn't just down bad. He's down cataclysmically, apocalyptically, sell your soul and call it romance levels of down bad. At no point did he consider basic human decency, personal growth, or, I don't know, being even remotely likable. Nope. My guy went straight for mind control, hostile takeovers, and just a sprinkle of dictatorship. Because why go on a single normal date when you can just conquer the kingdom and declare yourself both husband and pussy destroyer? And guess what? This is just the beginning. You think Jafar's brand of power-hungry horniness is unique? Oh no. He follows a sacred tradition, a time-honored villainous thirst trap formula. If you ever wondered what does it take to be an absolute menace both to society and to one's own dignity, well, grab a notebook and prepare to delve into the 4 dark essentials of deeply unhinged villainous desire.
I love the way your foul little mind works.
See if you can spot the first essential for yourself.
How could you? Worry?
You saw that? That's the way a breedable villain flirts. Why talk to someone from a reasonable distance when you can invade their personal space like a snake sensing prey? A corny villain never maintains a safe social distance. They must lean in like they're about to share the most forbidden of secrets, or a particularly bad pickup line. The closer they get, the more dramatic the moment. Bonus points if they tilt their head slightly and lower their voice like they're delivering a bedtime story. But instead of comfort, it's pure menace. And if you think the unnecessary lean-ins is their only weapon, think again. Without the third essential, this is still worthless. But first, the second essential. A true corny villain has a wardrobe that screams, I am both fashionable and mildly terrifying. Jafar's look? Dramatic, sleek, unnecessarily villainous. It's like Hot Topic met an oil baron and decided to go full Broadway villain, and we love it. The cape isn't just for fashion, it's for theatrics. Swishing dramatically after a failed seduction attempt? Essential. Looming like a gothic oil painting? Non-negotiable. But Jafar's outfit would be incomplete without its third essential.
Charged me with keeping peace in Agrabah.
A good villain doesn't just say things, they slink through their words. Every sentence must feel like a slow descent into villainous ASMR. If they aren't elongating their vowels like they're savoring their own evil, are they even a real villain? Jafar doesn't just talk. He hisses, he drawls, he drips with sinister energy. You can practically hear the snake emoji slithering in the background. That's why his third essential is his voice. That leaves the fourth essential. And no, it's not a genie sugar daddy. It's something just a tiny bit different. See that? Corny villains need a minion. Someone to be their hype man, their chaos assistant, their bro don't do this conscience that they promptly ignore. Jafar has Iago, the living, breathing, feathered embodiment of "Sir, this is a Wendy's," forever doomed to witness Jafar's thirst-fueled downfall in real time. And let's be honest, Iago is just Jafar's thirst translator. Every time Iago yells, "This is a bad idea," Jafar just goes harder. The parrot isn't just a sidekick, he's the inner voice of reason that Jafar gleefully mutes like an inconvenient notification. If your villain doesn't have a tiny, feathery representation of their worst impulses, are they even committed to the cause? Now, we've covered the essentials, which sadly won't fully cut it. Your corny villain needs more than just that. You don't want him to just be a creep as his personality. You need one extra ingredient, the spice melange. It all starts with their love story. If there's one thing a corny villain adores, it's a challenge. Specifically, a woman who would rather set herself on fire than return their affection. It's like they have a sixth sense for rejection. I mean, take Jafar for instance. The man had the literal power of the cosmos, but instead of using it to build a better kingdom or, I don't know, fix Agrabah's economy, he looked at Jasmine and thought, "Yes, let me make this girl obey my one-eyed snake." Her response? Immediate disgust, maximum eye roll. Or Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This man wasn't just down bad, he was down Dante's Inferno. Literally, he saw Esmeralda and his first instinct was either she loves me or I commit biblical arson. Sir, repent. Touch some grass, maybe drink a glass of holy water. At this point, you'd think they'd start pursuing women who don't loathe them. But no, if she's not actively plotting their demise, they're not interested. Do they take the hint? Never. Self-awareness is for heroes. If she's not actively plotting their demise, they're not interested. In fact, the more she despises them, the harder they double down. Because nothing says romance like persistent delusion and a total disregard for personal boundaries. And of course, this always ends in disaster. And you'll see why it has to fall into disaster for the corny trope to work in full effect. Take Jafar. The man had infinite power. He could have wished for charisma. He could have wished for better hair. Instead, he went, "Jasmine, love me." And she hit him with a, "Sure, babe," before aggressively friend-zoning him and helping Aladdin yeet him into a lamp for eternity. Iconic. Then there's Frollo, whose entire personality was, "I'm a man of God, until I see a pretty girl." His Hellfire song was the medieval equivalent of sending a risky 3 a.m. text and immediately regretting it. He tried gaslighting, gatekeeping, and girl-bossing his way into Esmeralda's heart, only for her to literally spit in his face. And instead of handling this like a normal person, he responded by burning down Paris. Smooth. At the core of every corny villain's failed love story is one big issue. They don't want romance, they want dominance. It's never, hey, would you like to grab coffee sometime? No, it's kneel before me, suck it or perish. There's something about their villainous ego that requires total submission. Maybe it's insecurity. Maybe it's the fact that they've never had a normal conversation with a woman. Either way, they don't want a partner. They want a captive audience. Take Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. The man had every woman in town thirsting over him, but he was only interested in Belle, the one girl who had absolutely no time for his nonsense. And instead of reevaluating himself, he spent the rest of the movie screaming about how she belonged to him. Classic, if I can't have you, no one can energy. And don't even get me started on Hades from Hercules. He had literal god-tier power, but the moment he saw Meg, it was, join me or I'll ruin your life. Ah yes, what a romantic. At the end of the day, the real tragedy isn't that these villains never get the girl. It's that they never figure out why. Maybe if they spent less time scheming and more time unpacking their deep-seated abandonment issues, they wouldn't be so lonely. Or, I don't know, just try Tinder. You don't need to swipe right to learn how to write a corny villain, though. No, you just keep watching. Now that we have studied the Grandmaster of Unholy Thirst, covered the essentials and the spice melange, let's craft our own corny villain, starting with these vital questions. First, what's their primary goal? Do they want world domination, ultimate power, or just to make their crush incredibly comfortable? Pro tip, it's often all three. A good corny villain never settles for a single ambition. They multitask, balancing nefarious plots while making someone deeply, deeply uneasy. Bonus points if their thirst for power and their thirst for romance become one chaotic, entangled mess. Second, what's their signature move? Are they a slow talker, a dramatic cape swisher, a whisper ominously in someone's ear type? All of the above? Nothing says I'm up to no good like a villain who takes their time. The slower the movements, the more uncomfortably intimate the delivery, and the better. Dramatic pauses? Check. Swishing through corridors like they own the air? Essential. Hovering just a little too long before making their grand exit? That's the sweet spot. Third, what is their unhealthy romantic fixation? Do they want to force someone into a cursed marriage? Do they spend way too much time thinking about one particular person while ignoring their actual evil responsibilities? A truly dedicated corny villain will rearrange entire political structures just for the chance to corner their crush and murmur something unsettling. They'll rewrite laws, rewrite reality, and still have time for a brooding monologue about how they will be mine. Jafar's bio would read, tall, power-hungry, owns a hypnotic snake staff, looking for a princess to trap in a golden hourglass, swipe right for evil ambitions and a questionable moral compass. Now, apply these principles to your own creation. If they're not making an entire kingdom nervous while pining over one specific person, are they even doing it right? At the end of the day, you clicked on a video on how to write a corny villain. Why? Are you that much of a horn dog? Or are you actually crafting one yourself? Whatever the case was, you were interested in a corny villain. So why do we even enjoy this trope? It's simple, because they don't do things halfway. They don't just steal the throne, take over kingdoms, or dabble in dark magic. No. These guys wake up every morning and choose obsession. Their evil plan? Secondary. Their dramatic, borderline, illegal romantic fixation? The real endgame. And let's be clear, this is not a send a cute letter situation. This is not a healthy courtship. This is full-scale psychological warfare in the name of love. Corny villains don't shoot their shots. They launch a military campaign. They don't confess their feelings. They whisper ominously while standing an unreasonably close distance away. And when their beloved rejects them, do they move on? Absolutely not. They rewrite the entire legal system to ensure they still have a chance.
Why, with you as my queen.
Never.
Oh, honey, the word never means nothing to these guys. In fact, it fuels them. They want devotion. They want their crush to stare into their cold, menacing eyes and say, "Yes, my dark master, I will forsake all others for you." A normal person would shrug and move on. A corny villain hears, "Challenge accepted." They do not care about your comfort levels. They do not care about personal boundaries. Their idea of flirting is looming in doorways and speaking exclusively in cryptic metaphors. Their love language? Manipulation. Their idea of a meet-cute? Arranged captivity. Their romantic getaway? A haunted castle surrounded by molten lava.
Tell me more about myself.
This is what we came for. A hero says, "I will die for love." A corny villain says, "I will kill for love." And honestly, we respect the hustle. Because say what you will about these maniacs, they commit. A corny villain doesn't just want you. They want you utterly, hopelessly, forever trapped in their web of intrigue, monologues, and deeply concerning power dynamics. And that, dear viewers, is why we cannot look away. Do you want to make your corny villain even cornier? Take a look at my analysis on Priest Frollo. He's the type of guy who'd DM you Bible verses while pretending to be all righteous. But really, he's just out here fantasizing about burning down your house because you rejected him.